Yo, you hear that? What is that? Oh, that's what it is. It's UFC 319. It's this weekend, and I am fired up, y'all. Ooh, schnickel fritz. Let's get into this, shall we? Today is Wednesday. I'm Dick, and this is Dictate the Day. One of my favorite things to do with this channel is to talk mixed martial arts. Oh, yeah. And this is a big one. This is a big one, because I'm a hardcore style fan. Like, I spend lots of time watching and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I thought we'd step into the vibe, so to speak, if you will. This is something I like to do with my channel. If you've checked it out before and you're back again, thank you so very much. And if you're new, what it do? Get in here. Get in here. So I like to set the vibe, the tone a little bit, if you will. And I do that with a little music. Let's go. Feels good. Feels good. All right, let me go ahead and pull up this UFC webpage so we can go through this together. I got my picks all written down and notes and whatnot. I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of start. Let me do it like this. Oh, hey, there we go. Let's start here. Let's do the main card last. And I just realized, because I was going through this last night, and these four folks, these four fighters right here, these are the ones that made it to the end of The Ultimate Fighter. I have watched them. I was doing other stuff and kind of on in the background, especially the last couple episodes. To be honest, I'm not just going to throw picks at you because I haven't done enough research on these guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the early prelims. The only one I really kind of feel confident about the pick, if you will. And this is the Karine Silva versus Dion Barbosa. Not the only Barbosa on the card Saturday night. I thought maybe they were related or possibly even married. No, they're not. They're not. I thought that'd be kind of cool, though. You know what I mean? All right. One thing that sticks out about this, and I know not everybody's into the early prelims, but I like it because this stuff is free on ESPN. The Barbosa chick, as far as my research goes, she has not had a full camp for this. And I kind of had a little more faith with the Silva chick anyway. So I'll sum these up so we can get into the main card kind of quickly. I've been having some crazy technical difficulties this morning. But here we are. We're doing it. Dick's taking the day. I feel like this Karine Silva, ranked 11 in the weight class. Women's flyweight. I feel like she's going to get this done. More than likely, this is going to be a decision, I feel like. Little decision 3-rounder. All right, let's go on to the prelims because we're starting to get into it. All right, so Brian Battle, been around for a long time. He has, let me see if I can expand this a little bit. He's been around. He was an Ultimate Fighter, on the show, whatnot. But this guy, one of the tougher names for me to say, he's from the the country where it's made of wrestling sambo killers, Uzbekistan. He is 36, 9, and 2. Whoa. Okay, whoa. But I like Brian Battle. You know, I like his personality, if you will, his fighting style. And I'm not talking smack. I'm just being honest. I haven't really seen him. He has developed as far as his fight maturity has gone, but his fight style is not necessarily one dimensional. But I haven't seen it grow a ton. And to be able to be successful against a guy like Nursultan Ruzbiov, I hope it's close enough. This guy, with the traditional facial hair of a killer. I feel like he's gonna get this done. Since this is just a 3-round fight, I feel like this is gonna be, man. I feel like he's gonna end up second round, middle of the second round, whether strikes or submission or strikes that lead to a submission on the ground. Yeah, this gentleman from Uzbekistan is gonna get it done Saturday night, and for show. But I feel like that's a faux show. All right, next, the other Barboza and Drakkar Klose. All right, we're not talking Ensom Barboza from back in the day where he could, literally, he could fight pretty much anyone in his weight class when he began. And I mean, it was real special ninja kind of stuff. Real dynamic striker, great cardio, jiu-jitsu clean. But that's not the same Ensom Barboza we have Saturday night, I feel. Due to his last few performances, a couple come into mind. But this Drakkar Klose guy, let me tell you, Klose, sorry. I follow Tim Welch, his podcast. He's the coach for Sugar Sean and several other people that are, moving up the ranks, whether they're on the Contender Series or he's got a lot of competitors in jiu-jitsu. I just like the guy. I like his style, I like his vibe, but he has had Drakkar on several times. Timbo, the Timbo Sugar Show. And just listening to this guy talk and how dialed in he is for this fight, training-wise and whatnot, I really feel super confident with Drakkar getting this done. I mean, it may be a decision. It really depends on what version of Barboza comes out Saturday. But I've just got this gut feeling, man. And it's not the diarrhea I have this morning. It's legit. It's the MMA gods tickling me going, hey, man, go with your gusto. Go with your gut. So, yeah, Drakkar all day. Let's go ahead and let's widen this and just look at some statuses. Yeah, they're both coming off a loss, too. And Barboza's he's a stretched out individual for the weight class, 5'11". Yeah. Specimen of a dude, though. He just, after so many battles in this game, it's so hard to hold on to the caliber of fighter you once were, whether it is good old Father Time or it's, the injuries that build up with Father Time. Sometimes it's the mindset. The grind becomes too monotonous for guys. I don't know what it is. Drakkar's going to win it, y'all. He going to take it down Saturday night. Oh, man, I'm stoked. This one's real interesting, though. This Chase Hooper, Alexander, he came out strong. And he's impressive. And Chase Hooper, the epitome of what the kids call the sleeper build. He's Captain Sleeper build. Are you kidding me? Look at him. But he's amazing. 16-3-1, and then Alexander is 16-8-0. Let me tell you what. Every time I see this guy, I have this montage of flashes. Alexander. Every time I see Mr. Hernandez, and it's when he was gonna fight Cowboy Donald Cerrone, And he was talking all this smack, talking about, I'm going to show the old man what's up, this, that, the other. And then fight night, he completely got pieced up. Like the old man showed him, hey, man, this is not what you think it is. And yeah, good job, Donald Cerrone. I'm not hating on the kid. And I spent about an hour watching fights and fight clips of all these, wonderful men and women doing their thing. And I saw some, like, I can't even remember. It was like some low-grade venue, but I was watching Mr. Hernandez. He's got some real powerful slams. I just feel, man, Chase is super sneaky, man. Not just in his look, but in his ability to find openings. He's real smart, a thinking style fighter, cerebral. When I first saw this matchup, I was like, oh, Chase is going to get it. But I am leaning a little more towards Alex Hernandez. They're both coming off wins. This is kind of a up in the air, but I'm going to go ahead and say Alex Hernandez. Alex Hernandez gets it done. Man, this might even be a decision because both these guys are game. This might go all three. All three rounds, All three rounds. Lightweight bout. All right, let's keep it rolling. All right. Jessica Andrade. And I love this lady's name. Lupi. It looks like it. Godinez. Looks like God Inez. Oh, she got God on her side that night. Saturday night. Jessica Andrade has had some really impressive bouts. Look at that. 26-14. She has been around, but I will say in the last, 3 or 4, she's another one that I'll say about, your game needs to progress because this sport will leave you behind and you may be super dominant in this one area. But as the sport and your opponent mature and they're able to watch what you do, and she's got plenty of tape to watch, if your game is not building and adapting and you're adding, weapons and defenses and things like that, some of these younger, hungry kids will come and get you. And, man, it may come down to the experience that she has, and because she can grab you, slam you, and hold you. And Lupi's going to have an answer for that. I feel as though, oh man, this one's kind of up in the air for me too. I have Jessica Andrade circled with the word experience on there. All right, I'm going to go with what I first chose. I'm going to go Jessica Andrade. Just feeling a certain kind of way because I was watching Lupi do some training and stuff. Yeah. Yep. Although I was talking all that smack in the beginning, I think Jessica's going to get it done. And it's probably going to be I see a decision. I see her just grinding, wrestling, working for submissions, keeping Lupi busy to where she can't implement her game. But you know the rules of this stuff, right? It's a fight. And there's no guarantee except for there's no guarantee. And anybody can win. Literally. I've seen like a 105-pound woman sleep a full-grown 200-plus dude. One shot. Cut out. All right. Let's talk about it. Mr. Meerschaert. I hate to say this, but man, even his face, I feel sorry for Meerschaert. He has been around for so long, and he's another, savvy vet, grinder in the game, has been around, been around. He's suffered a couple knockouts after being super confident going in that I was like, oh, poor dude. But I have a question mark over his name in my notes. because it is so questionable. I haven't seen much of his training for this one. Couldn't really find any that had like legitimate things that I could study. But this Polish dude he's fighting, man, let's. It's either Michael or Miguel Oleksiejczuk. And I know I did not say that right. I apologize. But all that being said, apology and everything, I feel like Michael is going to get this done. And I feel like he'll get it done possibly by the second round. That's what I have written in my notes. Yeah. All right. Let's go from one of the fighters that I feel sorry for. That's weird to say, but I do. I'm like, oh, yeah. I think it's... Okay, let's just move on. Let's move on. All right. Man. Mr. Bobby King Green. I love this guy. I love his mentality. I like his street style mixed in with the MMA, his flavor, his flair, you know, his mouth when he's talking smack. I love it. And I would love to see him win because I like the guy. But look at that. Let me do a little something here. Look at this. 32-17-1, Bobby. And then the guy he's facing, Diego Ferreira. They're both about the same size. He's got 19-6 on his record. But man, the last couple times I've seen King Green lose, it almost, once again, I feel like it's that father time, the multiple fights. So he is really, I feel like for him to get this done, because I don't have him picked to win this. Unfortunately, I got Diego picked because I really feel like he is a sleeper in the division. And I feel like he should be ranked. And this fight might be the fight that does it. Yeah. Bobby's savvy, though, man. And if he can, you know, play to his vet mentality and use some of that magic, I've just noticed he's been a little more cautious with, you know, hitting the switch and letting kicks, punches, whatever fly. And I don't know who I was listening to yesterday. It might have been Guru. But it was, things kind of changed for Bobby after his fight with Dustin. He just was way more careful. Dustin Poirier, that is. Apologize, I'm checking a text message. I'm multitasking. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, sorry. I'm back. We're good. I don't have to hurry so much. I've got a window of opportunity to get all this in for you. Yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, King gets it done, but I'm not picking him to do it. You know, that's just that. All right. Let's get into the meat and taters of this thing. Tim Elliott versus Asukara Kai. This Japanese dude is amazing. I can't remember. Who was he fighting last? He did not do so well, and he lost. But I feel like that may be one of his only losses for the next couple years. Tim Elliott, once again, OG in the game, and is savvy and is tricky and can grind it out. But I feel like this dude from Japan has all of the firepower, the speed, the tenacity, his eyes in the fight to see what's coming and what he needs to play forward. It's amazing, and it's that fast. It's like his mind and his body aren't making decisions. He's had enough training time and wonderful coaching and all that stuff, not to mention his blessed ability to get stuff like this done. I feel like this might be The MMA world is saying first round knockout, and that is completely possible because of how he comes out and how accurate his striking is. If it's not round one, I feel like it's going to be round two. So yeah, Kai Asakura going to get it done. I feel real confident about that one too. That might even be a highlight. See that on Sports Center later. Dope sauce. All right, keep on rolling on here. This one's real interesting. Jared Cannonier's another dude that I absolutely love, man. Who he is outside the cage, how he gets it done inside the cage. Magical man. Let me just say magical man. Yeah, but he's fighting a real live superhero. Not to say that he's not one, but Michael Venom Page fights like nobody else. And his ability to cover distance, and after distance is covered, either set up the shot or deliver the shot, and whether that's a punch or a kick or, making it look like he's going to the body, whether for a takedown or a body shot, and then instantly, jiggling your brain around with the strike and then getting out of the way and ready for another one, and he's like 3 feet away from you, sometimes 4, and he just covers the distance so fast. It's his fighting style. It really is, Michael Venom Page. He's be stinging like a snake, bro. Like a straight cobra. Jared's so tough, though, and will continue to come forward. We've seen him take all kinds of damage and then win the fight. Like, I almost knocked out kind of situation. So this could be a thing. If he's able to take the damage and then maybe suffocate Michael up against the cage or control him on the ground. Michael's pretty good about getting back up, though. Very savvy, spends no time down there attempting some jits. Haven't seen a lot of his jits, to be honest. Yeah, this one's probably going to be, once again, I wish it wasn't, but MVP, Michael Venom Page, is going to get it done. All right, we're getting closer here, y'all. Getting closer. Whoops. Every time I see Carlos Pratas, the only thing that comes to my mind is the fact that he's an active cigarette smoker. I just think it's crazy. All right, let me pull up their stats page here. Man. Jeff Neal, he's another. A dude who, he's got some great hands, great footwork. But I was just watching Carlos train this morning, some fight clips on the YouTubes there, and man, his cardio doesn't seem to suffer. I don't know if he smokes during his training camps or what, but yeah, it's crazy. I feel like he's going to get it done, though, Saturday. I feel like Mr. Neal, and I feel like this might be a back and forth for the first couple rounds. And then Carlos is probably going to find a shot to the head, whether he's setting up to the body with punches or kicks and then goes up top. For some reason, I keep seeing that flash. Carlos Pratas. Yeah, he's going to be the one. He is him that night. That is so weird. He is him. All right. I don't know why they don't have a pitch in Aaron Pico over here. How is that possible? Yeah. There is so much hype and has been around Aaron Pico for quite some time because he has all these accolades from his previous endeavors, wrestling, and he can box and all that. And I've been watching him train. I've been watching him and Hazman train at that dude's garage, real famous strength and conditioning cardio guy. And he looks great. He really, really does. But I've always thought he looked great. But I have a super huge question mark over his name. And then I've got Mr. Murphy circled for the win. I just haven't seen enough dominance from Aaron Pico. I mean, and we're dealing with the Big Show. I wish him well because I have wanted him to, build his career, become this phenom, possibly a champ in the next 2 years. And I feel like this fight Saturday night between Lerone Murphy, this is going to let us know if that's going to be a part of his future. I hope he does well, but I'm not picking him. I just have not, I can't with confidence say, all right, he looks good enough. I got to see it. I got to see it in action. Got to see it. All right. Now it's time for the main card. I mean, check it out. I think I'm in the way here. Let me. DDP, a plus 150. And Chimaev is a negative 180. Pretty close. But, man, I don't know, y'all. My brain keeps going back and forth about this. I think there's a clip I should show you. I'm going to show you a clip. Let me see if I can technically. All right. I didn't realize that Chimaev is bigger. I shouldn't say bigger. He's taller than DICKS. And according to their stats, it's only by 1 inch. And I know that doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. But when it comes to, I'm just reading here. It says 6'2", and DICKS is 6'1". Let me see if I can do this real quick. Let's check my technical expertise. There is this clip where they are meeting. I don't know. It looks like a basketball court or something. Hold on here. Let me check this out. Chimaev, right here. He's going to walk up and meet DICKS. Look at the size difference. I was even looking at their shoes, and DICKS looks like he got a little extra lift on his. Man. And I just keep thinking about the fighting styles of the two guys. And when I see that physical difference, and I know Chimaev is an awesome wrestler. Let me go back to I know, of course, he's super dominant with the wrestling. His jiu-jitsu squeeze. He pushed Robert Whittaker's teeth back in his face. I mean, Whittaker had bad teeth to begin with, but still, bro. Oh, man. Make you change your mind about fighting somebody if they cave your mouth in, all your teeth fold back. Woohoo! DICKS is the champ, and he's been real dominant. And he's defended that sucker 3 times. Man. He's, they call him awkward. He's awkward if you're fighting him, but that's DICKS. Awkward compared to what? The normal standards? Like MMA is mixed martial arts. It's, I don't want to say awkward by nature, but, Sure, he doesn't have what you would consider crisp traditional boxing. But he gets it done. He gets it done. He is a little reckless. Leaves his head up when he's throwing the big shots. Comes forward, and he brings his feet with him, but they're always so far behind him. Because of that size difference I mentioned earlier, I feel like the clinch, which we don't see a ton of, because I've noticed that if Boers gets the clinch, he usually drops levels and works for a takedown. But I feel like the clinch and knees to DICKS, I don't know if that's a part of the game plan. I feel like that would be a very helpful way to soften said opponent. But here's the thing. Chimaev has always been critiqued for his cardio. And it's because he comes out, if there's energy to be saved, it appears like he's not doing it. He's trying to finish you in that first round, that first 5 minutes, hell, that first 2 minutes. Drickus is super durable. I mean, I feel like if you're a fan, these are things you already know. I'm just playing it out in my head. Durable. He's been considered the juggernaut. You know, both these guys walk around above 200 pounds, and then they make 185. Ooh, that's another thing. Talk about making weight. Man, so there's a scenario here where Chimaev could potentially, because he's had issues making weight before, but he's hardcore, right? So if he's weighing a little too heavy, God, I hope he's not. For one, I hope he makes weight. But if that making weight becomes such a struggle, like it's one of those scenarios where it's like, you know, you're a pound over or a pound and a half over. And so he goes back to try to, you know, get off that extra weight. It's going to affect his ability to take a shot. I mean, I can't believe Drickus does what he does without issue. Like, pretty sure he's always made weight. So yeah, that could be an underlining fact too. I got DDP. I got DDP in this thing. I think he's going to keep the belt. Although all that could change because, you know, Boers comes out, attempts a takedown or fakes a takedown and then goes to throwing shots because everyone's, you know, thinking he's just going to rush in, maybe throw a shot, dump Drickus and then submit him. And that's possibly something he could be looking for because we've seen that path to victory for him before. But if he's smart and he's healthy and he's not extra dehydrated, because I'm telling you, man, if he has trouble making weight, it takes less of a touch to make it significant. You're less durable if your brain has not saturated from the dehydration process of making weight. That could be a factor for both these gentlemen. It just depends on what the weight cut, how their diet has been, all that kind of stuff. And if you watch the embedded or any of this stuff, everything is fine. Oh, speaking of the embedded, I've been noticing, and I don't know if this is just his swagger or what it is, but the way Chimaev moves sometimes, and I feel like it's on his right leg, I've seen a limp or I don't know, something. Like he may be uncomfortable in his knee, a hip, something on his right side, something lower body. I was watching him train in that dude's garage. I can't remember his name right now. Damn. Super famous trainer. Man, he has these crazy gauntlets of cardio, anaerobic, aerobic things that he does. World famous guy. But I noticed it there, and then I noticed him walking around on some of the embeddeds. Watch those, see what you think. Put it in the comments. I feel like he may be dealing with an injury, and most fighters are. Boers is tough, though, and, you know, you can get to a fight injured. Like I said, most do, because you're never really 100% healthy. But, man, if that injury becomes a thing during the fight and now you can't stand or throw that kick or put power into your shots, I'm just saying. Either way, I got DDP doing this. Like both the guys as far as fighting goes. Their fighting styles are great because they're so unique to each other. Yeah. DDP all day. DDP. Sounds like I believe DDP always sounds like I'm making an initialism into something inappropriate. Let me do this real quickity quick. Like, I think I'm gonna make this my thumbnail. Maybe I should put myself something like that. Something like that right there. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's my picks. Let me run through them real quick. And then there's one more thing I want to talk about before we go. All right, so I got DDP. I'm looking at my notes over here. Absolute savage is what I wrote. And survive the first round. So I got DDP. If he can survive this absolute savage in the first round. I got Lerone Murphy. And then I got Carlos Prates. I got MVP. I got Kaya Sakura. Diego Ferreira. That Michael Olejnik. The guy that's fighting Gerald Mershart. I don't think Gerald's going to get it done. I got Jessica Andrade with a big question mark and the word experience written over that. I would like to see Chase Hooper do something Saturday night, but I feel like Alex Hernandez is just... He's on that mission right now. He's going to get her. He's going to get her done. I got Jakar beating Barbosa. I got Brian Battle losing to the Nutsuron, the Uzbekistan guy. And then Karine Silva going to get it done over the Dion Barbosa because she has like a week's worth of 2 weeks worth of training for this fight because something got switched around. And then I did not make picks for the Ultimate Fighter finale. I could have, but I would have just been throwing whatever at you. All right, there it is. Thumbnail picture taken. Let's go. Something like that. All right. I don't edit, and I don't really know how to do the thumbnail, so I just screenshot the thing. Welcome to Dictate the Day. All right, I'm Dick, and let's take the day. But here's what I wanted to talk about. Let me switch up what's going on here. I ain't scared of you, sucker. It's this. First, I know. Sorry. This is what I want.
UFC signed.
This is what I wanted to talk about. UFC has signed the Paramount deal. And the pros and the cons, I'm still weighing that stuff out. Like, as it says there, UFC signs a $7.7 billion deal. It's like $1.1 billion a year for 7 years. Look, this is Brendan Schaub. Yeah. AKA the hybrid. I didn't like him back in the day when he was on The Ultimate Fighter, but since he's been doing his thing and taking so much heat from everywhere and he just keeps trucking along, this dude's got my respect. I do think he's funny occasionally, even when he's not trying to be whatever. You know, he's a good dad. Quit hating on the guy. God dang it. But yeah, it says, this deal is great for the UFC brass. And it says, and the fans, but terrible for the fighters for a variety of reasons. It might be terrible for us too. And I'll tell you why. Let me play this. It's like a minute long as he goes over the details that he knows. And then I'm going to tell you what I think and how this is going to change the caliber of fighters that the UFC sees. I think. Unless something changes. I don't know.
A 7.7 billion. That's with a B, y'all. 7.7 billion broadcast deal with Paramount. Pay-per-view model will end in 2026. Because the UFC, when they had a pay-per-view model, were forced to build stars in order to get money based off pay-per-view. They got rid of that model because they're done building stars. Those days are done. It's not good. None of this is good. It's good for Dana. It's good for TKO. It's good for the shareholders. This is all bad for the fighters in every facet. Now you might say, well, they're going to get more exposure being on Paramount Plus and people don't have to pay for it. You're right. But remember, more exposure doesn't mean more money. And now we're here. And they've doubled their revenue.
I mean, money.
But the fighters are getting paid exactly the fucking same.
Do we know that? Are we for
okay.
sure?
You know?
That's crazy.
Okay. UFC signed.
I hate to say the word union, but the fighters do need something to protect themselves when these deals, they need to be a part of this deal-making process. The union rep, if there was one, I'll do it. Because here's what I'm thinking. If the fighters know, because if there's no pay-per-views and there's no pay-per-view points for the champions, because that's the life-changing money stuff. That's, the dream once you reach the top of the mountain of MMA, especially UFC. If there's no more pay-per-view points, here's what I'm thinking. And I don't know what this contract really details out. And I know we have these fight kits. There was the big Reebok debacle, and now we're on to the Venom stuff. In 2026, and I don't know how long that Venom deal goes on for. I know there's a life of that contract. Man, now that we're on Paramount, and Paramount doesn't have international reach, and I heard Dana talk about, for some of the international fights, firing up the pay-per-view for that, because once this is on Paramount, all the USA-based fights, Paramount's like $8 to $10 for the subscription. So that's cool for the fan, but how many high-caliber fighters are going to want to achieve that top-tier position as champion if it's just their normal contracted fight? Like $500,000 sounds like a lot, but if it's $250 to show and $250 to win, it's not that life-changing money that is going to bring those caliber champions. But if they are allowed to have sponsorship again, and maybe it could just be a particular spot on the cage floor that's designed. I don't know. They used to bring out those big banners and have stuff on their clothes. Maybe they can, the Venom fight kit is on underneath, but they're able to wear a t-shirt or, a traditional boxing robe, since TKO is involved, and on that robe are their sponsorships. I don't know. But I feel like this deal is only good for the big dogs. Only for the big dogs. Let me, I think there's another video here. Let me look behind the scenes. And I believe it's Dana. Oh yeah, I got a couple of these. Let's see this one.
This is for all U.S.
Yeah, this is the McAfee. Pat McAfee show. This is a couple minutes long. Let's just hear it.
events, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, this is just for U.S. So we'll still go out and cut different deals, in different territories. But when you get in business with a global sport like us, I mean, I'm sure they have plans. We haven't got that far yet, but plans to go into other countries too.
Let's talk about the pay-per-view model being done here for you. Usually these streaming services, as they're gathering an audience, try to host a big event to draw people in, and then they hope their shit keeps them there, okay? We're going to have a big event, and then we'll keep our shit. Now, Netflix just been building since the beginning. They're a blockbuster, so they got everybody. Everybody else has to have these live events to bring people in. Amazon was doing it with like music. I think they were having like big concerts. Then they got into the NFL. Now they're getting into sports. ESPN Plus, UFC, other pay-per-views. They get in there to have these events. So with Paramount Plus saying, hey, we just want people to be subscribers and enjoy it, they have to have a pretty big audience base already, I would assume. And how do you view this? Do you think it's going to be a success, and how everybody else is going to end up doing it in this particular world?
Yeah, I think that, I think all these streaming services, no matter who they are, have to be involved in live sports. Any type of sport, you have to watch it live. Nobody's going to watch a taped or delayed, sporting event. So, yeah, I think they all have to have it. And it's going to be fun because, there's all these disruptors in business right now. When you think about us growing up, I never thought taxi cabs would go away, or cable television would crumble and go away. It's fascinating to see all. And we're always on the top of new technology and trying new things. I left DirecTV and went to ESPN Plus, and when you make these decisions, it's scary at the time. But one of the greatest decisions I ever made. My relationship with ESPN over the last 7 years has been amazing. We had our bumps and bruises in the beginning, of figuring out how to work with each other, and it's been great. I have nothing but amazing relationships with ESPN. They helped take us to this next level. So, and Fox before them, and Spike TV before them.
Oh, our Spike TV days.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what a run they had. Now's not the time. Paramount Plus, doing great. Spike TV had a late night Spike used to be.
Yeah. Slam ball.
Hey, thank you for getting me through a lot of parts of my life, Spike TV. Is this for all U.S. events?
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I hope for good things because I love this sport. I love everything about it. I really do. But yeah, I am real interested to see how the 2026 year plays out for, the Super Bowl of our sport, the UFC. It is cool that it's only going to cost, less than $10 a month to check all these things out. But it brings into question, I thought I had a clip here. Let me look of, all the other stuff ESPN has, whether it's the Ultimate Fighter or just the cool MMA shows for information and all that wonderful stuff. Let me take a look here. I might have had it in a different file, but I don't directly recollect. I have so many posts saved, it is difficult. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I really need someone who knows a...
I just thought I'd... there's one more clip here of this gentleman. Let's check it out.
I really need someone who knows a little bit more about this UFC and Paramount deal to explain a little bit more to me, because there's just some things that aren't adding up. Either I'm missing a whole lot, or they're just trying to not have a bunch of fans notice. They're saying no more pay-per-views. 43 fights a year as a part of your subscription with Paramount. Sounds pretty amazing, especially to someone who has consistently purchased their pay-per-views for 20 plus years. But if you know anything about the fight game, and more specifically the UFC, you understand that the fighters get huge bonuses based off of those pay-per-view sales. And if that's gone, what's replacing it? Has anyone actually seen the new payout structure? Has anyone considered the fighters? Because all I'm thinking about is the next time we hear "and still" in the octagon, I'm going to be wondering if that fighter just lost one of the biggest checks of his or her life because of this deal. And the other thing that's just blowing my mind is Paramount doesn't even have full international rights here. So are fans outside the U.S. just stuck waiting for headlines? There's got to be somebody out there who knows a little bit more than what they're telling us in the press release. I really need someone who knows a little...
So he makes a great point, because I don't know all the details. I don't know if anybody does. But if you've made it this far in the video, I thank you once again. And if you know something I don't, please put that in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what's going down. I thought before I'd go, I've heard multiple UFC pros and, champions, previous champions, current champions, go through and pick the fights this weekend. But there's one that just kind of stands out to me, and it's it's Mighty Mouse, and he is talking about what's going to happen this powerful weekend, this Saturday. Man, a couple of these clips, I hope I don't get copyright flagged. Let's see what happens. All right. Fighters predict DICKS versus Chimaev.
Chimaev cannot get him down. If he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds, or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is going to beat him.
I kill everybody, brother. First round, brother. Yeah, brother.
I would like to see Hamzat win. I just think this is a hard fight. I think DICKS, but I want Hamzat to win.
I personally think he beats up Hamzat Chimaev. I don't think it's going to be easy to submit. I think DDP is scrambly, and I think his conditioning, bro.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad.
In a 3-round fight, I'd be leaning a whole lot more towards Hamzat. For sure. But in a 5-round atmosphere, gun to my head, I'm probably picking Du Plessis, and that's crazy.
I'm never going to love past DICKS because He trains hard, he's super dedicated, he's super strong, and he's got that awkward style that doesn't make any sense. I think Khamzat will beat him inside the 2 rounds. I really do believe that.
DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet, definitely crisper on the ground.
Still leaning towards Dricus because of the experience I have with training with both the guys. I just don't see Khamzat finishing him early, and I see Dricus building in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I see him edging it out.
If Chimaev cannot get...
The reason I showed this, the major reason, is because that last clip where DeRitter is talking about training with both of these guys, and he just feels like DDP is going to edge it out. I really feel like, because he knows he has to be careful and cautious during those first round, probably 2 or 3 minutes into the second, and I think the communication to Chimaev is going to be, oh shit, you know what I mean? And then I think it'll slowly start working out in the favor of DDP. But we'll see. You know how it works. There's no guarantee in a fight. None. Anything can happen. I hope everybody makes weight because it's just Wednesday. And I hope everyone's healthy enough because hopefully the weight cut's not crazy and we're able to see the best caliber of each of these guys because that's what I want to see. I want to see their best form step in against each other. Ooh, stoked. All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. We're at almost an hour, so I think that's good. I appreciate you checking it out. Ooh, thanks for joining Dictate the Day. Today, may your day be dictated in the way that you want. Yeah. And it's hump day, y'all. Hopefully I gave you a little something to be excited for the weekend. If you're into this and if you watched it, you're probably into it. All right. Yeah. And I'm gonna sign off like I always sign off. It is a hump day, and the hump can sometimes be hard to negotiate. But remember, I try to share these words of wisdom because they've worked for me and they continue to work. But for whatever reason, if you're having trouble dictating your day, spread your love, share your knowledge, and I promise the rest will take care of itself. It works out that way. Yeah. All right, I'm going to play us out with some music again. I'm going to use that same song. It is The Beast Within. I thought it was apropos for the fight and whatnot. Let me prep. Oh, yeah. Dick's gonna dip. I'll see y'all on the flip. I'll see y'all on Friday.